Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm back with another video, and this is part 2 to What If Naruto was a 10-tailed Jinchuriki. So, we left off with Naruto telling Menma and Meiko that there was something else that they didn't know about the Nine Tails attack, and he was telling them to ask them for the truth about the attack. So, anyways, they were like, so Menma and Meiko they asked Minato and Kushina about the truth about the attack, and Minato and Kushina they looked at each other like trying to, uh, you know, gauge whether or not they can, give divulge this information to their kids, and Naruto already told them about his Biju knowing all the happenings throughout the world, and Naruto already knew this information, so Minato figured it would be only fair if his siblings knew as well, and he also decided this, seeing that it's possible that the QB was misjudged character pretty much in this entire event. So in the entire event of the Nine Tails attack, so of course he decided to give the QB the benefit of the doubt, and he told the story about the attack to his kids. So anyways, after that they basically learned a lot of ninjutsus from Naruto, and they also continued their taijutsu training. And they were like low chunin level in ninjutsu and taijutsu, and they were like low genin level in genjutsu. So and then this is by when they were 8. And anyways, their parents enrolled them in the academy now, Minato and Kushina, and they escorted them to the academy, and they were just waving by when Naruto uh, saw a black-haired boy being escorted by his parents as well, and he walked into the academy with a scowl on his face, and Naruto was like, I wonder what's up with that guy, and his attention was suddenly caught when he saw a young girl being beaten up by being bullied by a bunch of older kids, and he looked closely at her and saw that she had Byakugan eyes. And by the way, guys, this is going to be an Aruhina ship. I think you guys must be tired of me not making Hinata ships, but then in this one it kind of makes more sense to do a Hinata ship, because Hinata really didn't care about um, what everyone else thought Naruto was, and like in this story, Naruto people kind of avoid Naruto because of his strange appearance, and Hinata was never that shallow, and she liked him because of his personality. So I believe that it's best to ship Naruto with Hinata in this one. And anyways, Naruto made his way to the bullies, and he was like, "Please leave." And the bullies were like, "Ah, so her Prince Charming came to protect her, huh?" And Naruto was like, "I'm sorry, but I don't really have time to engage in petty discussions with you. Please leave." And the bullies were like, "Oh, what are you gonna do against us, huh?" And the oldest bully was like, "Hey guys, let's teach him a lesson, thinking that he can talk down to us, huh? I will show him what we're made of." And the other bullies nodded in agreement, and Hinata was like, "No, please don't." And Naruto just gave her a smile, saying that everything would, like assuring her that everything would be okay. And basically the biggest bully was like, "Hey you, grab him by his arm so that he can't move." And the other bully, one of the other bullies, tried to comply, but then he was suddenly startled when a bone shattering kick hit his jaw, and his jaw was like extremely bruised. and he actually went flying into a tree, and the biggest bully was like, looks like this kid's really got some spunk. Looks like we'll have to double team him. And the two other bullies just, you know, uh, ran towards Naruto from opposite directions, but Naruto just jumped up and performed a split kick and kicked the two straight in their faces, breaking both of their noses. And Naruto saw that he had a bit of blood from their broken noses on his hand, and he just wiped it to their clothes, and he was like, disgusting. Weak people just look for weaker ones to feel stronger. And anyways, um, Naruto noticed Hinata looking at him, sitting on the ground, and he was like, "Are you okay?" And Hinata was like, my ankle's a bit hurt, but other than that, I'm fine. And Naruto was like, alright then, do you need help walking? And Naruto offered a hand to help her up. And Hinata took it, and she climbed up, wincing as her hurt leg, couldn't really support her very well. So she was like, could you please help me get to the academy? And Naruto was like, sure. And yeah, he just smiled at her, and Hinata just blushed and fainted. And he was like, looks like she wanted me to do more than just help, huh? And Naruto um, basically threw Hinata up and caught her on his shoulders, and basically Menma was trying hard not to laugh, and Meiko was also having the same expression, and Naruto just raised an eyebrow at them, and he was like, "You have something to say?" And Menma was like, "No, I'm just happy that my brother's quite the player." Naruto just blushed slightly, and he was like, "Shut up, idiot." And Menma just punched his arm jokingly, and he was like, anyways, I'm happy for you. Even if she doesn't become your girlfriend, I think she'll be a pretty good friend. And Naruto just smiled, and he was like, I like the way you think, Menma. Seriously, when I first came to our house, I thought that you two would be a bunch of brats because uh, our parents are the Hokage and his wife. And Menma and I was like, "Pfft," as though we'd have anything like that get to our heads. And Meiko was like, yeah, right. And Naruto was happy knowing that he actually had a good family, and the three and Hinata, who's on Naruto's shoulders, made their way to the academy, and Iruka saw Naruto carrying Hinata like that, and he was like, Naruto, what do you think you're doing? And Naruto was like, I'm sorry, sir, but she passed out. And Iruka was like, what gave you the idea to carry her to class here? This is not a place for clowns. And Naruto was like, sir, she's an academy student, so I just thought that I could bring her here. And Iruka was like, fine. I assume that you three are Lord Fort's children. And um, Menma was like, yes, but please call us by our names. And Iruka was like, right, sorry. And Menmo just thought in his head, like with a sweat drop, he was like, these people couldn't be more more of suck ups to the Hokage's relatives. And uh, he just went to find a seat, and he and Mako sat down next to a pale boy who was named Sai, and Naruto uh, went to sit next to a boy named Sasuke, and he looked at Sasuke, and he was like, I saw you. I saw you in the morning when you were. When you were coming to the academy, when your parents dropped you off, why were you scowling like that? And Sasuke just shrugged, and Naruto's like, so looks like this guy isn't much of a talker, huh? And he just sighed and um, he let Hinata sit next to him. Like he basically carried her and put her next to him, and he was like, "Hey, a girl, I don't know your name, but you have to wake up. We're in a class." And Iruka was like, "All right, class, now we're going to start. Uh, my name is Iruka Umino, and Naruto, please wake Hinata up fast, and from now on, you all will call me Sensei. Understand?" And everyone nodded, and the academy classes started. And Naruto noticed something fishy about Mizuki, and he basically um, he went inside his mindscape and he asked Tsuki, and he was like, "Don't you do you smell anything fishy from Mizuki?" And she was like, "Yeah, but he hasn't done anything suspicious yet, so I'm not really sure what to make of him. But he definitely does smell like a suspicious character." And Naruto was like, "You're right. I'll keep an eye on him." And first they started off with an aptitude test, and basically Iruka gave Mizuki distributed everyone the like the test papers, and Naruto noticed that when he was distributing Menma and Meiko's that there was a genjutsu placed on top of the paper, and Naruto just rolled his eyes and put his hands in a tiger seal, and he was like, "Release." And the genjutsu on the paper released, and Mizuki was surprised, but then he didn't have time to cast the genjutsu again, so he just gave a smile as though he had just bit into a lemon, and he walked away. And Naruto is now extremely suspicious about this Mizuki, but he just turned to his test, and Hinata looked at him from time to time, but this didn't really bother him, and he actually ended up getting the highest score on the aptitude test when Iruka gave his paper back, and Sasuke was a close second, with Menma and Meiko being third, and Hinata being fourth. And Naruto was like, "Ah, classic Menma and Meiko. They do everything together. They even share the same rank." And he just laughed to himself. And Sasuke looked at these results, and he was like, he got pretty pissed at Naruto for taking the top spot from him, as he believed it to be, and he was like, "Hey, dope, fight me." And he just raised his eyebrow, and he was like, "I don't really like the way you talk to me, so I'll pass." And Sasuke was like, he basically shook Naruto by the shoulders, and he was like, "You must fight me. I'm an Uchiha." And Naruto was like, "So what if you're an Uchiha? I'm an Uzumaki." And Sasuke was like, I'm royalty, you idiot. You must listen to my orders." And Naruto was like, "I'm royalty as well. I'm the son of the fourth." And Sasuke is like, "Ah, how dare you! You must fight me!" And then he basically threw a punch at Naruto, but Naruto just caught his fist and threw him back, and Sasuke flew into a wall and hit it, and basically he got too badly hurt to stand and challenge Naruto again. Like he tried to stand, but then his knees kind of wobbled and he fell back, and Sakura and all of Sasuke's other idiotic fangirls were like, "We will show Naruto. How dare he do that to our Sasuke? Sorry, to my Sasuke." And they were like, "Let's go beat him up." And by the way, there are no senseis in the class right now, so it was only the students. And Shikamaru gave Naruto a pitiful look. He was like, "I'm sorry you have to deal with those fools," like that kind of look. And Naruto was like, "Don't worry, I'll be fine." He just gave Shikamaru like that reassuring smile. Hinata was also worried about him, but Naruto just smiled at her, and she knew that he could handle these fangirls. And when they tried to attack him, Naruto realized that they had no real skill at all. Like, even though like several of them were from clans, even though they were from pretty minor clans, they still didn't have any idea on how to use real taijutsu. And um, their fighting was basically like cat fighting. And Naruto just shook his head and wondering why this academy had to waste seats for idiotic fangirls like this. And he easily took them all out. And they were basically on the floor holding their legs or their head wherever they were hurt. And Naruto just went and sat next to Hinata and Sasuke. And like Sasuke had gotten back to his seat by now, and he was infuriated seeing Naruto put on such a excellent display of taijutsu. And he wanted to fight Naruto more than ever, but then the way he got his ass handed to him kind of decreases morale.
So now, with these rankings, Mizuki was thinking about who he would like to get the scroll for him, like who he'd manipulate and stuff. And then he realized that since Sasuke is looking for revenge, he'd basically do anything for power. So instead of approaching Naruto, he approached Sasuke this time, and he knew that if he tempted Sasuke with power, he'd do anything. So he was like, "Hey Sasuke," and Sasuke was like, "Yeah, what's up, Mizuki Sensei?" And Mizuki was like, "Do you want to become strong?" And Sasuke was like, "Of course I do. I have to get revenge." And Mizuki just chuckled and he was like, "I can help you become stronger, Sasuke." And Sasuke was like, "What's the catch?" And Mizuki was like, "There's no catch. I always hated that traitor. He would always act like he's better than everyone else when he was in class. I was his classmate, so I would know." And Sasuke was like, and what does that have to do with my revenge?" And Mizuki was like, "Trust me, I want revenge on that brat as much as you do." And Sasuke was like, "Alright then, I'm in. What do I have to do?" And Mizuki was like, "All you have to do is sneak into the Hokage's office and steal the scroll. It's rather large and it has kanjis on it which say scroll of sealing, and it has several powerful techniques that I can teach you if you retrieve it from for me." And Sasuke was like, "All right then, this better be worth it." And Mizuki was like, "Trust me, it will." And Sasuke just smiled and he left to get it. And I'm not going to go into depth on how Sasuke got it. I don't even know how Naruto got it. Like, he has the loudest outfit ever, and he has basically no stealth, so I have no clue. Anyways, Sasuke got it somehow, and he quickly ran to the forest, and Mizuki wasn't there yet, so he was like, maybe I'll take a peek and see what techniques he's going to teach me before he comes here. So he looked into the scroll and he saw several awesome jutsus, and he couldn't decide where to start. So since his clan style was fire style, fire release, he decided to go with Madara's fire style majestic destroyer flame. But when he tried it, just a regular fireball came out because he didn't have enough chakra to make such a huge jutsu. So, anyways, after a few minutes of him practicing, Mizuki came there, and he was like, "Hey Naruto, give me this." Sorry, not Naruto. This is Sasuke this time. He's like, "Hey Sasuke, give me the scroll now. I'm going to teach you the technique you're practicing." And Sasuke was about to give it, and right before he gave it, Iruka came and he was like, "Sasuke, don't do it. He's a traitor. He only wants a scroll for himself." And Sasuke was like, "Huh?" And he basically pulled the scroll back towards himself, and Iruka was like, "Give it to me." And Sasuke was like, "How can I trust you? What if you want it for yourself?" And Iruka was like, fine, then you can come along if you want. We're going to return the scroll to the Hokage. And Sasuke was like, but I have to gain power. This scroll has many powerful techniques. And Iruka was like, there's a reason why that scroll is secret, Sasuke. It's not meant for genin who are fresh out of the academy. They don't have enough chakra to pull off one of those techniques. When you get older and your chakra reserves increase, maybe you can use some of the jutsus in those in the scroll ceiling then. However, now you don't have the chakra reserves to pull off even one of these jutsus. Mizuki lied to you. He's a traitor. And Mizuki was like, Iruka, what are you doing? Let him give me the scroll. And Iruka was like, you ran around for enough time, you traitor. And then he started fighting Mizuki. And Mizuki kind of defeated him. And then he turned to Sasuke and he was like, now Sasuke, give me the scroll. And Sasuke kind of saw through him now, and he was like, "No, you're a traitor." And Mizuki was like, "And you think you can stop me from taking the scroll? Anyways, your Sharingan is too much of a pest. Maybe I should just kill you now." And Sasuke was really scared right now because he didn't know, he knew that he wouldn't be able to take on Iruka because Iruka is a Chunin and he's just a Genin who's fresh out of the academy. So if Mizuki defeated him, then he realized that Mizuki must be pretty strong, and he didn't want to really get into a fight with Mizuki, especially since he was alone right now, and he was like, "No, please take the scroll, just let me live." And he gave Mizuki the scroll, and Iruka was like, "Sasuke, what are you doing?" And Sasuke was he didn't pay attention to what Iruka was saying, so he just gave Mizuki the scroll, and Mizuki was like, "You understand, right, Sasuke? I don't need any witnesses lying around." And Sasuke's eyes widened when Mizuki implied that he was going to kill him. So then this betrayal caused Sasuke to awaken the Sharingan, and then you know he already awakened it because of the massacre, but then this caused him to awaken it again, pretty much because he never used it when he awakened it, right? So this kind of sparked the Sharingan in Sasuke, and instead of it being one Tomoe like when his clan died, one eye was two Tomoe and one was one Tomoe. So Mizuki was like, shit, he awakened the Sharingan. Because Sharingan is pretty broken, guys. Like, if Mizuki does any ninjutsus or taijutsu moves, Sasuke could just copy it, and that won't really be too good for Mizuki. So he was like, I have to finish this fast. So Sasuke basically saw Mizuki, lunging at him with the kunai in slow motion. So Sasuke was able to avoid it, and then he quickly grabbed a kunai and he slashed Mizuki's back, and this really injured Mizuki, and he was like, "Shit, he got me," and in the rage of like in his rage when he was using his Sharingan, like he kind of went into like a rage mode, and he easily like slit Mizuki's throat and killed him, and Iruka was absolutely shocked seeing Sasuke kill Mizuki like that. But then he didn't really put it past Sasuke, seeing how Sasuke behaved in the academy. So, anyways, after Iruka gave Sasuke a lecture about, you know, not taking shortcuts and all that, which Sasuke didn't really pay attention to, um, Iruka basically escorted Sasuke back to the Hokage with the scroll, and he returned the scroll of sealing.
So, anyways, after that day, Naruto asked Hinata whether she wanted to hang with him and his siblings. So Hinata, she blushed and fainted, and he was like, "Ah, not this again." And he was carrying Hinata on his shoulders, and he went to Iruka and he was like, "Sensei, where does Hinata live?" And Iruka was like, "Why do you want to know, Naruto?" And Naruto was like, "She passed out again." and Iruka, knowing what is happening, he just smiled to himself, and Naruto was like, "What's so funny?" And inside his head, Suki was like, "Naruto, I can't believe it. You're so smart and still so dense." And Naruto was like, "Hmm? I don't understand." And Tsuki was like, "I'll let you figure it out." And Naruto was like, "Jerk." And Tsuki just chuckled, and Naruto, uh, Iruka gave Naruto the Hyuga compound's address, and basically Naruto took Hinata there, and he was like, he told his siblings, he was like, hey guys, go to the same training ground we always do. I'll be there in a little bit." And Menma was like, "Ah, so you're gonna take your girlfriend out, huh?" And Naruto just had a slight blush on his face, and he was like, "No, I'm just gonna take her back home." And Menma just chuckled, and Naruto took Hinata back to her home, and he went back to train Menma and Meiko. So, anyways, after a few weeks in the academy, Hinata finally got the confidence to talk to Naruto without fainting, and and she joined Naruto's friend group along with Shikamaru, Choji, and Kiba. And Ino was still like too much of a fangirl to join, and even Shino joined, but then he didn't really like socializing that much. But he would get along okay with Naruto and his friend group. So, anyways, these all of these were Naruto's friends, and uh, like including his siblings and all that. So now we time skip to when Itachi kills off all the Uchihas, and we see and Naruto and his siblings are walking together, and they see Sasuke sitting on the bridge, and with like a sad expression on his face. And he decided to be a good person and go comfort him. And he was like, "Hey Sasuke, are you okay there? I heard what happened to your clan." And Sasuke turned to look at Naruto, and he was like, "Do I look okay?" And Naruto was like, "Well, you do look like your usual brooding self, but then just a little bit sadder, so that's why I noticed." And Sasuke just scowled at Naruto, and Naruto was like, "Anyways, jokes aside, I'm sorry about that. It wasn't really appropriate of me to do that when after what happened to your family. But then, if you ever need to talk, me and my siblings will be there, and you can talk to any of my friends as well if you need to." And Sasuke was like, "What's your problem?" And Naruto was like, "Did I do something wrong?" And Sasuke was like, "Get out of my sight." And Naruto was like, "Okay, then we'll leave you be. But then, if you ever need anyone to talk to, I'll always be there." And Sasuke, for some reason, he felt comforted by this, but he didn't really show it. But then he decided that he might he might be able to not feel alone again, and accept Naruto's olive branch that he offered to him. And by the way, guys, there's no perverted innuendo there. That's kind of like an expression to say that Naruto kind of offered the hand of friendship. In case you guys don't know. So, anyways, he was thinking this, but then what Itachi said to him came flooding back when Itachi told him about him having to kill his closest friend. So he decided that he didn't want to go that route, so he didn't want to make any friends. So yeah, he denied himself the chance to become Naruto's friend. So he just decided to leave Naruto be. So anyways, we time skip to when Naruto finishes, when Naruto and his batch finish the academy, And by the way, Naruto already was skilled enough to pass the academy, like literally when he joined. But then the reason why he couldn't pass was because the Hokage put a rule saying that no one under 13 could pass the academy, because that was like the minimum age limit, because they weren't in a war anymore and they didn't need the academy to start pumping out genin. And after what happened with Itachi, uh, he decided to put up that law, because he didn't really want anyone to like suffer like Itachi. And uh, and by the way, the reason why the issue with the Uchihas wasn't fixed yet was because Minato had actually reclaimed his position as the Hokage only like a year ago, because like a year before the massacre, because um sorry, not a year before the massacre, like a year before Naruto actually showed up at their house, because he was relieved from Hokage duties for a little bit, to recover from the QB attack and the chakra exhaustion. And he wanted to be there for his children and not be consumed by his Hokage duties. Um, so he decided that he'd extend his break for a little bit and be there for Menma and Meiko. So that's why he didn't become Hokage until the year before Naruto came. So that's why the issue with the Uchihas hadn't been resolved, and by then it was already too late, and the Uchihas were already planning the coup uh, that would happen, 3 years later. And anyways, so the Hokage raised the age limit, and so everyone passed at age 13. So, or when Naruto was age 13 at least. And at this point, these were like the class rankings. So first was obviously Naruto, like by a long shot, and then next was Menma and Meiko, and third was Sasuke, and fourth was Hinata, fifth was Shikamaru, and so on till at the end there were Kiba. There was Kiba, and by the way, after Shikamaru came Sakura and uh, the list goes on from there. So, anyways, Shino wasn't really like at the top. Like, sorry, after Shikamaru came Shino and then Sakura. So, sorry about that, guys. Um, so Shino was smarter. So, and this was because Sakura was really a huge fangirl in this one, and she barely paid attention to anything studies related. So, of course, Hinata came out on top, and she is also better at fighting, so that gave her another advantage. So of course, Hinata was the top kunoichi, while Naruto was the top, the rookie of the year. So Naruto began thinking about how the team placements would be, and he was like, I really want to be with my siblings, but I don't think the Hokage would allow that. So I'd probably be placed with Sasuke and Hinata, because normally the top shinobi and the top kunoichi uh, form a team because they would be heavy hitters, and with the results from this year, we probably could get two heavy hitters. And by the way, Sai didn't really try in the academy because of all his foundation training. He kind of had to maintain a facade of being a bit of an idiot. So, like not an idiot, like just disinterested. So Sai wasn't anywhere near the top. He was kind of like in the middle. So, anyways, Naruto was like, so I think since I am the top, I'm the rookie of the year, and Sasuke is a pretty strong person in our class. We might be on the same team, and Hinata would be there as well, since we'd be heavy hitters. And then Menma, Meiko, and someone else, maybe someone like Kiba, might be placed in another team. and he was just thinking all of this, and the Jubi already knew what the team placements would be since it sees everything that's going on in the world, but it doesn't really tell Naruto anything that would kind of ruin the surprise later. So of course, she uh, she didn't tell him what his team placements were, and she only like tells him when it's something that's like really useful to know, like then and there. So that's kind of like how their thing works. So he was just thinking about this when Iruka showed up and started announcing the teams. And Naruto didn't really give a fuck about who was in Team 1 to Team 6 because they're all civilians, with a few like minor clan heirs thrown in. But then they didn't really look like they had the skill to pass, and especially with their show at the academy, they Naruto knew that they wouldn't really pass. So and by the way, he already knew about the Genin exam um, after the supposed Genin exam because he actually met Guy's team, and Lee told him how it goes pretty much. And after a few comments on how youthful he was for training so much, he left. So, anyways, he knew about these extra exams that they had to do to pass and become Genin. So, anyways, when Iruka announced Team 7, he was absolutely shocked that he was with the Banshee. Sasuke he could handle because, what's one emo to him? But then Sakura was such a crazy a bitch that Naruto was like, fuck, I'd rather kill myself. But he was just sarcastic. He wouldn't actually do that. But anyways, he just banged his head on the table when Iruka said that Sakura and Sasuke were on his team, and he's like, "Great, the most toxic people in the entire class have to be on my team." And Iruka was like, "Have anything to say, Naruto?" And Naruto was like, "Oh, I'm just all peachy." And he just grimaced at Iruka, and Iruka just sweat dropped and gave him like a sorry expression, and basically he was like, all right then, teammate, Hinata, Shino, and Kiba, your sensei will be Kurenai Yuhi, and team 10, because team 9 is already on the field. So we're going to skip to Team 10, and this is going to be Ino Yamanaka, Shikamaru, Nara, and Choji Akamichi, and their sensei will be Asuma Sarutobi. And we have another team which is Team 11, and this is going to be Menma Namikaze, Meiko Namikaze, and Sai, and their sensei is going to be Kushina Uzumaki. And Naruto just groaned. Uh, because his siblings were together. He hoped that one of them would be on his team, but then he knew that it was too much to expect. But anyways, he decided he would just try to work with his team, and if not, when he became Chunin, he'd finally be off. But uh, he would have to wait a long time for that, and uh, he knew he was going to have a few rough months or maybe even years. So anyways, all the senseis came to collect their students, and Kushina waved apologetically at Naruto, and Naruto just glared at her because like he was kind of pissed that he was on this team. But Kushina just mouthed to him, and she was like, "I'll explain later." And Naruto just nodded, and uh, anyways, um, anyways, they waited for an hour, and Sakura was like, "Ah, where's that bastard? How dare he call himself her sensei? He's so late." And Naruto was like, "For once, I agree with you, Banshee." And Sakura was like, "What did he call me?" And Naruto was like, "There's been something I've been meaning to test out." And Sakura was like, "Shut up, Baka! Stop acting cool like Sasuke-kun." And she screeched this, and Naruto winced and rubbed his ears, and he basically drew a seal onto a piece of paper, and before Sakura could notice, he slammed it onto her throat, and he was like, "There, much better." And Sakura tried to scream at him, but then only a very low pitch, a low volume came out of her throat, and Naruto was like, "Ah, now that's a much better way to talk, don't you think?" And Sakura was like, "What is this? Take it off!" And she tried to pull it off, but then it was stuck firmly to her skin. And Naruto just yawned and continued reading his book on Fuinjutsu. And by the way, Naruto was already a seal master by now because he had shadow clones and he was studying for 5 years in sealing jutsu. And basically he already started learning about his Rinnegan abilities, and he already knew about his Sharingan and Mangekyo Sharingan. Like the Ten Tails taught him over the years, and now it was time for his Rinnegan abilities. And by the way, Naruto already showed his family his dojutsus, and they told him that to hide it from the council at all costs, or they'd use him as breeding stock to for more powerful shinobi. And Naruto shuddered at that, and he just agreed. So anyways, they already knew about that, but Kakashi didn't know. So anyways, Naruto was reading his book on Fuinjutsu, and Sasuke was just sitting there in his pose, uh, like, which basically was made Sakura swoon, and she was like, "Oh, Sasuke-kun, you're so cool." And then Sasuke just twitched, and he was getting impatient, and this banshee was trying to flirt with him, and he was secretly glad that Naruto put the seal on her neck. And when he's when Sakura turned back and she tried to shout at Naruto, um, he gave a small smile, seeing that she couldn't. And anyways, a few hours, another like 2 hours passed, and in this time, Naruto made a seal on the door to trigger a blast of lightning whenever the door was opened. And the lightning wasn't too harmful. It was just like enough to knock someone out. So anyways, Kakashi came in a few minutes later, and when he opened the door and walked in, he was shocked when like literally shocked when a huge amount of lightning blasted him, and he flew into a wall, and he groaned and he got up. And Naruto was like, so you must be a pretty powerful jonin, huh, Kakashi? Most people would be knocked unconscious from that. And he was like, you're behind this. You could have killed me. And Naruto was like, relax, Kakashi, I know what I'm doing. And Kakashi was like, by the way, it's Kakashi Sensei to you. Now let's all go up. And Sakura was like, where, Sensei? And Kakashi was like, to the roof. And Kakashi just body flickered with Naruto doing the same. And Sasuke was insanely jealous that Naruto could pull off such a move. And Sakura was like, when she saw Sasuke's angry expression, she's like, "Oh, Sasuke-kun, you're so cool." And Sasuke was like, "Shut up." And she was like, "Oh, Sasuke, talk to me. This is the best day of my life." And she just squealed, and she followed Sasuke up the stairs to the roof. And meanwhile, Kakashi was looking at Naruto like really surprised, and he was like, "You know how to body flicker?" And Naruto was like, doesn't all don't all ninjas? And Kakashi was like, normally only a few Chunins and most Jonin can do that move. And Naruto was like, but it's a C rank technique. And Kakashi was like, I guess we'll have to teach it more. Genin then. And Naruto just chuckled and he was like, so what do you want to do now? And Kakashi was like, wait for your teammates first. And Naruto just sat down and continued reading his book on Fuinjutsu, while Kakashi kept reading his Pervy book. And a minute later, Sakura and Sasuke came. With Sakura looking completely out of breath, while Sasuke looked normal, and and Kakashi was like, "Have a seat." And they both took their seat, and Kakashi was like, all right, now that we're a team, why don't you all introduce yourselves? And Sakura was like, why don't you go first, Sensei? We don't really know anything about you. You have read about our files. And Naruto was like, I can't believe that the fangirl has said something smart. And Kakashi was like, what's up with your voice? You sound strange. And Sakura pointed to the seal on her neck, and Kakashi saw Naruto reading the book on Fuinjutsu and remembered the trap earlier, and he made the connection, and he was like, Naruto, remove the seal from Sakura's throat. And Naruto was like, alright, Sensei, but don't blame me afterwards when your ears go numb. And Kakashi was considering asking Naruto to sit back down and not do anything about it, but he decided that you know, he'd risk it. And as soon as Naruto removed the seal, Sakura shouted at him, and she was like, "Naruto Baka, how could you do that?" And Kakashi was like, "All right, Naruto, please put the seal back on Sakura." And Naruto was like, "As you wish, Sensei." And Sakura was like, "No, no!" And before she could react, Naruto slammed the seal back on again, and her voice was back to where it was with the seal, and she just looked down, trying to figure out what to do, but she realized she couldn't do anything because she's useless. So, anyways, Kakashi was like, "Alright, now, so for my introduction, my name is Kakashi Hatake. I have some likes, I have some dislikes. None of them are of any concern to you. And my hobbies, I think it's better I tell you when you grow up a bit more. And my dream for the future, I guess I never really thought about it." And all three of them sweat dropped, and seeing that Kakashi only told them his name, and Naruto was like, he's known as Kakashi of the Sharingan, the copy ninja. He likes to go to the memorial stone to visit his friends, who are his old teammates. He dislikes it when anyone slanders the names of anyone who he cares about. And his hobbies are to read that smut that he's reading right now. And Sakura and Sasuke looked at him, expecting him to go on. And Naruto's like, he was right about his dream for the future, though. And Kakashi was like, "How do you know all this?" And Naruto was like, "I did a little bit of research about you." And um, he was like, "How did you know I was going to become your sensei?" And Naruto was like, "No, I didn't do it only. I didn't do research only on you. I did it on all the ninja of this village." And Sakura just muttered stalker, and Naruto was like, it's better to be a stalker than to get killed on a mission when you don't have enough information about your opponent. And Sakura just looked at Naruto angrily, and Kakashi was like, he's right, you know. And Sakura just sighed and sat down, and he was like, anyways, now that I introduced myself, next is you, pink hair. And Sakura was like, my name is Sakura Haruno. My likes. And she looked at Sasuke, and she giggled, and she was like, my hobbies. And she looked at Sasuke, and she had a little nosebleed, which made Sasuke feel very uncomfortable, uh, seeing like what she wanted to do, like what her hobbies were. And she was like, and my dream for the future, like she squealed like that. And then Naruto's like, it's amazing how much you can squeal even with that silencing, with that volume reduction seal. And Sakura just scowled at him, and Kakashi was like, and your dislikes? And she was like, Naruto and Ino Pig, and Naruto was like, "The feeling's mutual, you little bitch," and Sakura was like, "What do you call me?" "You heard me, Sakura Horuno," Naruto said, and Sakura went up to punch him, but Naruto caught her fist and kicked her away. And Sakura, she flew in the air and landed on her butt. And Kakashi was like, "Sakura, please refrain from hurting your teammate." And uh, Sakura was absolutely shocked that Kakashi was taking up with Naruto, and she was like, "You're not going to scold Naruto for taunting me?" And Naruto was like, "You sound like a little child, you know that? You're supposed to be a ninja. You're not supposed to take any taunts and become angered by them. How can you call yourself a kunoichi? You're a disgrace to all kunoichi who actually try hard to achieve things. The only reason you became a kunoichi is so that you can learn how to rape Sasuke." And Sakura looked at him absolutely shocked at what he was saying, and Kakashi actually giggled a little bit, and Sasuke looked scared for his life as he, scooted away from Sakura, and Kakashi just clapped his hands together and he was like, "All right, now that's enough. Now next, you, Emo." And Sasuke was like, "My name is Sasuke Uchiha. I don't have many likes, but I have several dislikes. And my dream for the future? I guess I'll call that an ambition. Well, I want to get strong enough to kill a certain someone." And um, Kakashi just looked at him and he was like, "I guess I should have known he'd say that." And Naruto was like, "You're talking about Itachi." And Sasuke was like, "Don't mention his name in front of me." And Naruto was like, "I have something to discuss with you, Sasuke. It's something that'll interest you. It's about your clan, and I also have to show you something. So meet me in the training ground after this team meeting." And Sasuke was like, "Whatever." But then in reality, he actually wanted to meet Naruto and see what he was talking about because, uh, Naruto did really intrigue him, and he actually came to accept the fact that Naruto was stronger than him, and he built up a one-sided rivalry towards Naruto, and he decided that if he knows more of his rival's tricks, he'll be able to catch up to him and surpass him, and thus surpass Itachi. You know, like his mentality was like, if I can't defeat Naruto, how would I defeat Itachi? So one thing he didn't know was that Naruto could easily defeat Itachi, but then um, he overestimated Itachi's. Sorry, he underestimated Naruto's power. So, anyways, Kakashi was like, "Now, green face, it's your turn." And Naruto's like, "Kakashi, you know who I am, and stop calling me green face. I don't like that." And he basically gave a lot of killer intent towards Kakashi, which was so strong that it even affected Sasuke and Sakura, and they fell to their knees panting while Kakashi was down on one knee, and he was like, "Stop it, Naruto, please." And Naruto was like, "Then don't call me green face." And Kakashi was like, "All right, please." And then Naruto stopped releasing killer intent and he stood back up and he was like, "Anyways, my name is Naruto Uzumaki. My likes are my siblings, my friends, and my parents. I also like training and sampling different flavors of ramen. My dislikes? Well, I guess I could say that I dislike banshees, fangirls, and late people." And then he looked at Sakura and Kakashi, who both like Sakura just looked like she wanted to punch him, while Kakashi just eye smiled, and Naruto and he was like, "And your hobbies and your dreams?" And Naruto was like, "My hobbies are training and creating new jutsus. I also like spending time with my family and friends. My dream for the future, it's to help my siblings become stronger and become the best shinobi I could be. I also want to help my brother Menma in his goal, in achieving his goal of becoming Hokage. And uh, Sasuke was like, as if that loser could become Hokage. And Naruto was like, well, uh, just a few hours earlier, that loser, as you call him, defeated you in a sparring match. And Sasuke looked soured and he was like, he just got lucky. And Naruto was like, yeah, sure, keep saying that every time someone beats you. And Sasuke just grunted, and Kakashi was like, how am I going to get this team to become a cohesive unit? And he was like, anyways, I want you all to show up to the training grounds at 6 a.m. tomorrow. We're going to have a little survival test. And Sakura was like, but we did several of those in the academy, sensei. And Kakashi was like, well, this time I'll be participating as well. But remember, the things I'm going to make you do, you're going to puke. So you better not eat anything. And Naruto was like, well, you didn't really word that very well, sensei. And Kakashi was like, he just smacked his head and he was like, anyways, you get the message. And then he basically body flickered away, and Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura were walking away, and Naruto turned to Sasuke and Sakura, and he was like, "Well, I'd much rather puke than fight Jonin with an empty stomach." And then he body flickered away to where he said he would meet um, you know Sasuke later, and Sasuke and Sakura considered his words, and Sakura was like, "No, I'm on a diet. I will not do anything to risk my figure like that." And Sasuke was like, he's making some sense. Maybe I should actually take his advice." And Sakura was like, "Come on, Sasuke-kun, let's go on a date." And Sasuke was mentally thanking Naruto for placing that seal on her, otherwise his ears would have been gone by now. So he was like, "No, I have some place to be." And she was like, "Don't tell me you're planning on going to that Naruto baka." And Sasuke was like, "Why do you hate him so much?" And Sakura was like, "Did you hear what he said to me? He's such a rude person. Why would I ever like him?" And Sasuke was like, "And you weren't rude to him?" And Sakura just bit her lip considering what Sasuke was saying, and she was like, "Why are you sticking up for him? All he ever does is show off. I even heard that since his family didn't want him, they cast him away for the first 4 years of his life until he made his way back, and he somehow got the Hokage to agree to take care of him." And Sasuke just looked at her and he slapped her. And Sakura was like, "Wow, Sasuke couldn't touch me." And she just fainted with a nosebleed. And Sasuke was like, they just keep getting worse. Anyways, he went to find Naruto, and he found Naruto where Naruto promised to, um, tell him some information. And he came and he was like, "So what did you want to talk to me about?" And then um, Naruto turned to him and he was like, "Sasuke, your desire for revenge on your brother because of what happened to the clan, how far does it go?" And Sasuke was like, "What do you mean?" And Naruto was like, "How far are you willing to go in order to get revenge on your brother?" And Sasuke was like, "I don't care. No matter what it takes, I'll kill Itachi." And Naruto was like, What if you have to leave the village? What if you had to kill the Hokage? Or what if you had to become an international criminal?" And Sasuke was like, "I don't care. No, as long as I get revenge on Itachi, I'm happy." And Naruto was like, "It's worse than I thought." And Sasuke was like, "What do you mean?" And Naruto was like, "Looks like Itachi really did a number on you." And Sasuke was like, "You knew Itachi?" And Naruto was like, Not very well, but he watched me train sometimes, and he gave me some tips on fire release. And Sasuke was like, "You can use fire release," and Naruto was like, "Yes, I can." And Sasuke was like, "What else can you do?" And Naruto was like, "That's besides the point, Sasuke. I called you here to tell you the truth about something." And Sasuke was like, "What do you mean? What are you talking about?" And Naruto was like, "Why do you think Itachi killed the clan?" And Naruto was like, sorry, Sasuke was like, "It's obvious, isn't it? He just did it to test himself." And Naruto was like, "Do you really believe that such a stupid reason? Why would Itachi kill so many people just to test himself? And if he really wanted to test himself, why wouldn't he try to fight against the Hokage? I heard that he was on par with your father." And Sasuke considered these words, and he was like, "I don't care. Itachi killed my clan, and he's going to pay for it." And Naruto was like, "No, Sasuke. What he said wasn't true." And Sasuke was like, "How do you know?" And Naruto was like, "Well, that's a secret, and I can't tell you unless I can trust you." And Sasuke was like, "Trust me?" And Naruto was like, "Yeah, I have to trust you, and before I can tell you something like that. However, my sources don't matter, but my information is correct, and I assure you." And Sasuke decided to listen to what Naruto had to say. And Naruto was like, "Sasuke, your clan was planning to throw a coup and destroy the village, and just so that your father could take the Hokage position." And Sasuke was like, "Why would they do that?" And Naruto was like, "After the Nine Tails attack, your clan was getting ostracized by everyone because uh, it became common knowledge that the Sharingan could be used to control a tail beast." And there were even some reports saying that the Nine Tails had the looked like it had the Sharingan while it was attacking. And Sasuke was like, "Who could have done this?" And Naruto was like, "Well, I can just tell you this. He was an Uchiha, however, he had left your clan a long time ago." And Sasuke was like, "You don't mean only one person has left the clan before?" And Naruto was like, "No, it isn't Madara. It's someone else, but I can't tell you who it is. However, I assure you that they are an Uchiha, and your clan took the blame for what happened. They felt as though they were being treated too badly, and they decided to launch a coup to take over the village. However, the village would have lost several shinobi, and the Uchiha clan would have been wiped out." And Sasuke was like, how do you know all this?" And Naruto was like, I already told you, unless I can trust you, I won't tell you that. However, all you need to know is that my sources are correct." And Sasuke was like, "Alright, so what did Itachi have to do with it?" And Naruto was like, "Seriously, Sasuke, do I have to spoon feed everything to you? You're supposed to be smart. He was an Anbu. What do you think he was supposed to do?" And Sasuke was like, "Don't tell me he was tasked with killing the clan." And Naruto was like, "Yes, Sasuke, he was, but not by the Hokage. The Hokage wanted to start peace talks with the clan." And Sasuke was like, "Pff, yeah, right. You're just saying that so that I don't try to get revenge on your father." And Naruto was like, "This has nothing to do with my father and my emotions towards my family. The only person who is to blame for what happened is Danzo Shimura, one of the elders on the council." And Sasuke was like, "Who's that?" And Naruto was like, "He has his own Anbu who follows every command, and he is the one who influenced Itachi to kill your clan." And Sasuke was like, "I'm going to destroy this village." And Naruto basically backhanded Sasuke, and he was like, "I already told you, Sasuke. Why are you blaming blaming the entire village for the mistake of Danzo Shimura? He's the one who has to be dealt with, not the entire village." And Sasuke was like, but they could have done something. And Naruto was like, Danzo carries out all of his operations in secret. What would they have done? And Sasuke was like, they should have been more careful. And basically Naruto was like, Sasuke, I understand that you're sad about losing your family. However, what's done is done, and the only person who deserves your wrath is Danzo Shimura. And I will not let you leave the village to gain power. And Sasuke was like, who gave you the authority to say that? And Naruto was like, no one did. However, if you don't leave the village, I will train you. And Sasuke was like, who says you can train me? You're not even as strong as Jonin. And Naruto was like, really, you want to give that a bet? And Sasuke was like, sure. And Naruto was like, just one thing. Before Itachi left, what did he tell you? And Sasuke was debating on whether or not to tell him, but he wanted to get Naruto to trust him so that he could tell Sasuke where he was getting all this information from. And basically, he was like, he told him about the Mangekyo Sharingan and what Itachi told him. And Naruto was like, so you mean these eyes? And his eyes shifted into the eternal Mangekyo. And Sasuke was like, what is that? That's a different Sharingan design, but I've never seen that pattern. And Naruto was like, this is called the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. Normally, it manifests when an Uchiha who has a Mangekyo Sharingan implants the eyes of another Uchiha who has a Mangekyo Sharingan, preferably a sibling or a very close friend. And Sasuke was like, "There's another level to the Mangekyo Sharingan," and Naruto was like, "Well, it's not really a level. Uh, it's just a precaution so that you don't go blind when you use your Mangekyo Sharingan." And Sasuke is like, how do you have it? And Naruto is like, that's none of your concern. But then I hope this is enough to prove to you that I'm strong enough to train you. And Sasuke was like, I want to test one more thing. And Naruto was like, and he was like, do you know the fireball jutsu? And Naruto was like, yeah, I do. And Sasuke was like, alright then, let's see whose fireball is bigger. And they both did hand signs for the fireball jutsu, and they each shot a huge fireball out. And but Naruto's was like tens of times larger than Sasuke's. And Sasuke basically had to give up and body flicker to the side, like run really fast to the side to dodge, but then he wasn't able to dodge fast enough. But then Naruto body flickered and he got him out of the way of the fireball. And Sasuke was like, "Ah, your fireball, it's amazing." And Naruto was like, now are you convinced? And Sasuke was like, yes, please train me. And Naruto was like, I never thought you'd be this humble, Sasuke. And Sasuke was like, shut up. And Naruto was like, there it is. Anyways, I'll be training you from tomorrow. And then Naruto waved Sasuke off, and he decided to go back home. And he went home and he asked his father the reasoning for his team, his choice for the teams. And Minato told Naruto that if he and his siblings were on one team, it would be too powerful. And like even though they'd have perfect teamwork, the team would be way too strong. And so he decided to have two heavy hitting teams this time. And and that's why he separated Naruto from his siblings. And Minato also told Naruto that uh, the council wanted Sasuke to have strong teammates so that he would learn enough to take revenge on his brother. And also they wanted Sasuke to have Kakashi of the Sharingan as his sensei, because he could train him on how to better use his Sharingan. And Minato was like, and Naruto was like, did they also put me in the team for that reason? And Minato was like, "Don't worry, they don't know about it. I wouldn't tell them something like that." And so, anyways, you know, Naruto just sighed in relief, and uh, he just got ready to for the next day. And that's where I'll be leaving it off for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, like and subscribe to my channel and share my videos with your friends. We're pushing for 2K, so I hope you share it as much as possible. And if you have any suggestions or ideas or or anything in mind for future what ifs, uh, don't hesitate to comment. And thanks for watching, guys. And that's where I'll be leaving it off for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, like and subscribe to my channel and share my videos with your friends. We're pushing for 2K, so I hope you share it as much as possible. And if you have any suggestions or ideas or or anything in mind for future what ifs, uh, don't hesitate to comment. And thanks for watching, guys.